Welcome back to this edition of the Renegade Report. And yes, it's my 1 year anniversary show. And yes, I'm flying my three-piece suit. And yes, Trevor just came in here and said 1993 called and they want their three-piece back. But I still feel fresh. But now we're joined by sophomore Conrad Dalton and Moses Jimenez of BC Men's Tennis. How you doing, fellas?
Pretty good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, having a great year. Well, first of all, let's let the world know, and the world is watching on Bakersfield.com. Conrad, where are you from originally?
I've lived in Bakersfield my whole life. Spent a couple of
raised.
years in Vermont, but came back. Now I'm grinding here playing tennis.
Nice. What school did you play?
Centennial.
Centennial. My wife was a Golden Hawk as well. She gets mad when I call y'all the Chicken Hawks. Just playing, babe. But Moses, where you from, sir?
I was born in Northridge, and I was raised here in Bakersfield, and I played for Foothill.
Nice. My mom was a Foothill Trojan.
Yeah.
You guys are on fire right now with the basketball team, too,
the basketball
right?
and soccer team are both won their first state game.
Absolutely. Doing fantastic. Got my
Yeah.
little nephew, Squid, Edward Turner, over there balling out. Salute, Squid. But right now we focusing on tennis, guys. So how does it feel to be part of this Renegade tradition? I know with you're our sophomore leader. You got your dad coming in as a first-year coach. How has that experience been, being that you've been part of this process, but now you have your dad who's joining you in the fold?
It's been it's been great so far, and I feel like when having my dad here and knowing he used to be a Renegade, like he knows what we've been through. So we're kind of going through it together now, and he's really helped me along through the process because tennis hasn't really been my primary sport growing up. So now I'm here and I'm playing tennis more competitively. I'm trying to get better and happy to be with the Renegades.
Nice. What other sports did you play, Conrad?
When I was growing up, I played hockey,
Nice.
water polo, and baseball. Those are kind of
Nice.
like my things. And tennis was kind of always on the side.
I got you.
But like since my dad, it's kind of his thing. So now I got pushed to play in college, but I'm enjoying it so far. So I'm having a good time.
That's good. Well, hey, when you started talking about those other sports, it looked like you kind of got down on yourself. Didn't want to throw those sports out. I'm a multiple sport guy too, man. I was a swimmer.
Oh, okay.
Basketball. You see, I threw a curveball at you. Do I look like a swimmer? I definitely don't look like a record holder, right? I was a record holder swimmer. As a 50-meter breaststroke. I always say that, it. But hey, never be embarrassed about the past sports, because just like me and Dad talked about, even though we end up transitioning into primary sports, every sport we played helped us be successful, right? You get those small tips and tricks from other coaches and you apply it to what helps you move forward as a tennis player. So, Moses, you said you were a Foothill athlete. How has the experience been coming from a school like Foothill, which is one of the smallest schools in the city, to playing at the Palace on Panorama?
It's nice. I started playing tennis my freshman year. That was my first year playing tennis, and the tennis program it wasn't as good and stuff. But we had a group of guys that we were all freshmen and stuff, and we all worked our way up there, and we all pushed each other. And my junior and senior year, we both made it to the semifinals of the playoffs.
Nice.
And we lost 4-5. It was close, but we were pretty happy, because we all started playing our freshman year, and we were playing guys that started playing since they were small. So
Nice.
it was a good experience.
Well, I got to tell y'all, I remember both of you because my son played tennis as well. He was a driller tennis player, and he was the shortest tennis player out there. His name was Kamani. He's one of the shortest guys out there on the court, but he had the biggest heart. And now he's in the Army, and he'll be graduating at the end of the month.
Wow.
End of March, I should say. So I'm excited for that. But anytime I talk to my tennis guys, I like to reflect on his experience as a tennis player, because whether you know it or not, he's supposed to be wearing a red sweatsuit and sitting right here with y'all right now, and he pissed me off when he picked the Army. I'm just playing. So. but I was excited to have him here, and hopefully when he's done with his career in armed forces, he can return to his athletic prowess, which a lot of what former soldiers do. So transitioning into this year, let's talk about the start of the year. I know it hasn't been a great start, but what are some of the things that you got out of the start of the year that you're looking forward to improving?
Yeah.
Starting with you, Conrad.
So obviously the results aren't exactly what we want, but I feel like it doesn't show how hard we've been working. We've been working pretty hard. We practice 4 to 5 times a week. And I think if we keep at what we're doing, bounces start to go our way, things will start to turn up for us, and I think we'll make a shot for it.
I agree. I mean, and one of the toughest things with having a new coach going into a season. It's definitely things that are going to get better as time
Yeah.
moves forward. You never just start on fire, with a new system and a new program. But as Coach talked about, individual sports, sometimes guys pick up their pace at different moments, So hopefully in the near future we can get that spark and fire set up to where we're clicking and finishing matches at a rapid rate, right? All right, so Moses, talk about your experience through your first month of your college tennis career.
Oh, I was excited. Like, I've been waiting to play college tennis since I started playing tennis.
Nice.
And the first couple of matches were all right. I was kind of nervous, and it took me a couple games to actually play how I needed to play, but it was exciting. Couldn't be happier.
And I'm glad that you were honest and transparent about that, because everybody wants to act like they just walk in the gym knocking down threes or aces as soon as you step on the court. And when you're honest about where you are, it helps you improve, right? So, being able to admit when you have those nerves. And I remember my freshman year starting, and I was joking with your dad about that. I had a ton of grown men on the team, and here I am, this 18-year-old, 150-pound soaking wet kid trying to compete and let these guys know that I mean business as well. And that was pretty nerve-wracking. But eventually I ended up catching up to them, and it made for a great freshman year for me, which I think will be the same results for you, Mr. Moses. Just thinking about the nervous energy that you get past as you start to learn your focus as a seasoned sophomore like Conrad, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
No, Moses is a beast. He's doing well.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk about season expectations, guys. I know last year we had a couple doubles teams make it to state. The women performed very well. They're performing very well right now. I know sometimes there's that inter-team competition amongst the guys and the girls. So, they have some motivation for you guys, being that they're playing pretty much very well right now, riding a hot streak. So, coming off the Santa Barbara losses, what are we looking forward to this week? We got Glendale coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How's Glendale looking, Moses?
They're actually, I think, the best one in our conference. They beat Ventura, and I believe they beat Santa Barbara too. They're very good. They have a number one that he's a D1 athlete, but he couldn't go to a D1 school because he messed up his grades. But supposedly UCLA is recruiting him, so he's very good. I got to play him, and I was just happy that I was able to just kind of compete with him. I know he was a good player, but I didn't give up. I fought the whole way.
And that's the motto. Steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
You play great competition, you'll be the great competition that somebody else has to play. So I'm glad you alluded to that as well, because you're going to play some top flight competition in this conference. We have one of the best junior college conferences in the nation, of course. We could be the best in the state, of course, but more than anything, the level of competition is not going to taper off. We're going to have to continue to play at a high level every week, because we're going to be playing guys, just like you said, that are being sought after, whether it's grades or whether it was injury. There are people that we're going to compete with that are playing at a high level. So, curveball for you. I'll do this with my tennis players or all my athletes, and before we go to break. So, Conrad, in the movie of Conrad Dalton's life, who's going to play Conrad?
I actually watched the interview last week in this question, and I was thinking about it. I don't really know any celebrities. So I was thinking obviously the easy answer is Brad Pitt, but
No what?
I don't see that.
Hey, we could get Brad Pitt. We could get Brad Pitt to play you. Get him a little brunette dye.
Maybe The Rock. I don't know.
All right. I'll roll with Brad.
But
Pitt.
both of them are way above me. So
well, I'll say this: Brad Pitt can play anything, man. I see this dude play any role, so I can guarantee you that he can play the Conrad Dalton tennis story. Moses, who's gonna play Moses in the Moses Jimenez tennis autobiography?
I would want Robert Downey Jr. Just because I love Iron Man, and I'm a big fan, and I would want him to play me.
Hey, you got my vote. Iron Man, my favorite Avenger.
Yeah.
All right.
Team Iron Man.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. All right. I'm gonna put in some calls. Got a little Hollywood connection. So as y'all keep getting famous, I'll put these calls in. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. Well, hey guys, I got to tell you, more than anything, we joke. We talk about seriousness from an athletic perspective, but more than anything, I like you guys to know that this culture of this campus is more than sports. It's about community. It's about building each other up. And one of the things your dad, Coach Dalton, talked about was the impact that you guys have had on community. So let's talk about some of the community aspect that you guys have had. What's some of the community service events that you guys have had an opportunity to take part in recently, or that are coming up?
Well, coming up, I know tomorrow we're going to be reading to a fifth grade class, I believe. We're just going to read some books to them. But also, the last semester, we had the chance to work at a Special Olympics event at what's the tennis place you always hit at?
The Racket Club?
Yeah, the Racket Club. Yeah, they hosted a Special Olympics event, so we went and helped them out and kept score, and it was really a nice experience.
Man, heartwarming experience, right? Just have an opportunity to be present with kids that look at you as superstars already, right? Mm-hmm. You know, that reflecting on my playing experience over 20 years ago, that was some of my most proudest moments, was going in and having kids who were learning how to walk again look at me like I was the world, and I'm just this kid trying to figure out who I am. So, you know, definitely having those experiences are what make us who we are as Renegades and Renegade proud. So, Moses, anything from the community service aspect that has been a highlight for you?
I haven't gone to some of them yet because they're mostly on Saturdays and have church Saturdays.
Okay.
But definitely tomorrow I'm gonna go and read to the fifth grade. So I'm kind of excited for that.
What time are you guys doing that?
It's like around 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
8:30 in the morning at where's the location again?
Fairfax. Correct?
Oh, you guys are going to Fairfax Elementary?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
Okay. Well, hey, I know a few people over at Fairfax. I might try to sneak over there and join y'all for that reading session, man. I got my guy, who's over there? Oh, I'll figure it out later. But some of my former teammates and staff, they work over there as well as staff members and teachers. But anytime I can be around you guys when you're doing great things, I like to come and get pictures. I haven't been able to watch you guys compete yet because I just started a new job as a group home administrator, and that's been a great experience. But more than anything, I'm proud of you guys and excited to see what you're going to do at the end of the season. And I'll be sitting right here when you guys make all conference and all states, so we can joke and laugh, and we can come up with some new actors for our movies.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, hey, guys, I appreciate you. This is Kitty Calvin, and we'll be right back after the break with some Renegade recaps. And as you can see, it's my year anniversary show, and Yuri loaded me up with the most recaps I'll ever have to do because he wanted to make sure I'm working for my money. We'll be right back. Oh, we got a tennis curveball for you. We got Luis Estevez, who just made the show last minute. We thought you weren't going to make it. Did I say your last name right?
Aceves.
Aceves.
There you go.
Luis Aceves. All right. I hate torturing names. Y'all know that. It's one of my pet peeves. So, Luis, where you from, sir?
I am from Arvin, California.
Arvin Bear is one of my favorite teammates of all time. Hernan Santiago.
Okay.
Arvin Bear legend in Centennial basketball coach.
Rings a bell.
Yeah, so how's the experience been for you being part of the Renegade tennis team?
You know what? It's been great. Ever since I've been in the team, it's been improving my game. School has been there for me, and it's a different experience from Arvin.
Absolutely. So are you a freshman or a sophomore?
I am a sophomore.
Nice. So we got 2 of our 3 sophomores here present. How has the transition been for you coming from a freshman to your sophomore leadership role?
You know what? It's been a tough to get these freshmen, get them straight,
You hear how he talking to you?
Yeah. Just basically trying to get them from high school tennis to college tennis. It's a whole nother level.
Absolutely.
You need to get them on their game. They think they're coming from high school tennis a joke, but this is really serious, way more competitive.
Absolutely.
So I think now they're getting used to it. Now I've just seen players play and what players can do in matches, and it's getting them in their feet wet,
Yeah, I'm glad you alluded to that because that's one of the things me and Moses joked about was how nervous he was his first week and just going into the competition and seeing how the speed of the game was different. So welcome. We definitely appreciate you making it because I thought I was about to have to rip through all of these recaps. You see it look like a novel over here. So let's continue to reflect on what made you guys who you are today. So one of the things I like to talk about that we didn't get to talk about was coaches' influences. So you talked about being at Arvin. Who was your coach at Arvin High School?
You know, we didn't have a coach official because every year we'd have different coaches. Whoever
Okay.
could, but one of the major coaches is Chris Case.
Okay, Coach Case.
Yeah, Coach Case. He got me into playing tennis, and he's been there. Even though he wasn't a coach, he was always there helping me out, like
Nice.
with my game, and always supporting me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, whether he was an official coach
Yeah.
or just a guy with a whistle,
Yeah.
he's a coach's influence
Yeah.
on my behalf because a
Yeah.
large percent of the people who helped me be successful on the field were people from the neighborhood, people that worked at the store at the corner,
Right.
some like my neighbor who watched my game and talked about the tackle I missed.
Yeah.
Like, man, you got to speed your feet. Like just whatever influence we get that can help us be better versions of
for sure,
ourselves. They're our coaches,
Yeah.
and that's what I like to reflect on in this moment. So let's fast forward to my Mr. Dalton, coach's influence. Who was your coach at Centennial?
It was a guy. His name was Adrian Magallanes,
Gotcha.
and it was my first year. Like I had played baseball my first couple of years, and
Gotcha.
then I decided to turn it back to tennis. So I was very rusty, and he made tennis really fun for me, and he made me a lot better. I feel like I still know him today, and anytime I hit with him today, I feel like I get something out of it. So
Nice.
he's
That's beautiful.
Definitely one of my
Beautiful.
favorite coaches.
Moses, fast forward into you, coach's influence. Who was your coach at Foothill High School?
I had two coaches. Well, I had my high school coach was Ruben Jimenez. He was a first year coach my sophomore year, and that's when I was my first year in varsity, and we kind of like grew together. We were both learning. Like I was
Nice.
learning to be varsity, and he was learning to be a coach and stuff. And he was a good coach. But I had another a friend in the racket club, David Perez. He played tennis for the Renegade.
Yeah, I remember. I was about to say I remember hearing.
Yeah,
Mr. Perez's name.
He was number one, and he trained me basically to the player I am today, and I'm really grateful that he was there for me. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I'm jealous of is the fact that you were a sophomore on varsity. I didn't get to do that, but but having the opportunity to play at that level as a sophomore gives you the confidence to be able to transition into college easier than the regular freshman, I would say, because
Yeah.
you have an experience of playing some of those guys that are a year or two over you already, right?
Yeah, and like I said, David was number one, so in BC, and he had good seasons. So I was kind of like he was kind of teaching me already to play for Renegades and the level, and it was
Nice.
very, very good.
Beautiful. So talking about your sophomore experience, Luis, we discussed how the year hasn't started off how we wanted to. We haven't finished matches like we want to.
Yeah.
What's some of the things that you're looking to improve on as we move forward to conference play? Because now we're getting into the meat of conference play, right? And this is the important part of the process. We use preseason games and matches to prepare ourselves for conference. So where's your mind state as we move forward to conference play?
It's just like when people, like their mindset in the game, like they need that confidence while they're playing their game, and a lot of our players like don't have that confidence. So that's why I think their mindset's like, oh, I'm never gonna beat these guys ever, and they're already going into that game or match thinking they're
Hands
gonna
down.
lose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Surest way to lose
Yeah.
is thinking you're going to lose.
Yeah, but like if you think
Yeah.
if you have like a mindset right, you could beat players mentally, and you'll beat them like physically. It's a process,
Luis, I got to tell you, and I hate doing this because I'm a football guy, but I got to reflect on what made me a great player. I would visualize the games the night before. I wouldn't sleep. Like a lot of people can sleep before games, matches. I would not sleep at all. I would visualize every snap from kickoff to the end, to me walking off as a winner, to the point to where I would visualize out routes, slants, and how I would break, how I would move on those balls, to the point to where the next day I remember vividly making plays that I visualized,
Yeah.
picking off balls that I visualized, to the point to where at the end of the year, after doing that every week for 10 weeks, now I have one of the best years that I ever had. Now I'm an All-American because of this visual philosophy that I had, and visualizing and achieving. That's one of my biggest philosophies.
Visualizing your strokes, your
Yes.
backhand, forehand, your volleys, like your serves, the way your game, your strategies, all really important doing before a match. it helps out a lot.
It made me who I am as a player. So to hear you reflect on that is just it struck a nerve and put that light bulb on my head just to remind me of like, wow, this is what makes us who we are. You have to visualize what you're doing to be successful. You can't just wake up and do it. You have to see it through before you even step on the court. Yeah, so great philosophy, man. So another thing that gets me going pregame is music. I work in music.
Oh, okay.
I threw them the curveball about acting earlier. I asked them if they had to pick an actor, who would be the actor.
Yeah.
We ain't going to do that with you. I'm going to ask you, pregame, what gets you going for pregame? I'm a music guy. I listen to music. I like to wild out. I don't want nobody talking to me. I like to focus and just hear my sound and get pumped up. So what do you do for pregame?
I just listen to my music and have a blank mind.
Gotcha.
Blank mind. I don't think about anything, just relaxing, just getting ready and warming up, and then I start visualizing my shots, and it's helping me out. It keeps my mind empty and not really thinking.
All right, so what are you listening to?
Anything from like classic rock to like anything, nothing crazy. Like
okay, all right, that's all right. I work in many realms of music. You'd be surprised. I work with violin players that won Grammys. I work with rock guys. I work with rap, R&B, old school. So Moses, pregame ritual. What's a pregame ritual for you?
Sleep.
Sleep. All right, getting that rest, recharge.
Yeah, getting that rest. Yeah.
Yeah, put a towel over your head or your bag or whatever you can do to block out the noise.
Yeah, I always take my blanket and I sleep with my blanket.
Oh, there you go.
I used to listen to music, but cause I used to run too, and I used to listen to music and like on my long runs. But then when you go to the races, it's like a different environment,
energy, huh?
Different energy, because you're like, oh, I don't have the music to pump me up, so I kind of just stopped doing that and just sleep.
You know what? One of the things that Austin Lee, Coach Lee, talked about last week, and some of the players was the mental capacity of tennis. Yes, you have to be physically gifted in spots, but the mental game for tennis, more than anything, gets victories because you have to be able to taper those emotions in moments, right? Yeah. And I could see sleep helping you taper those emotions before you come out of the cage. So that sounds like a great philosophy, man. I might try to sleep before my next show and see how that worked. All right, so Dalton. I said Dalton. Dalton, what's the pregame ritual for you, sir?
Well, I mean, sleeping. If I tried sleeping, and maybe I couldn't do that for before matches. But like, as far as music goes, I used to listen to this like EDM type stuff, like get me going. But for tennis, I don't know, that's not really my thing. So I usually just listen to like the same stuff I always listen to. But the last song before like I take the headphones off is "Can't Stop" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
There we go.
That's my song, and that guitar at the very beginning.
Yes. Can't stop.
Exactly.
To the shindig. You're gonna win big. That's
that
one of my favorite
going.
songs in the world. You see what I'm saying? Don't judge the book by its cover, man. It's because I got the 3-piece on. I mean, I'm listening to James Brown or something. All right, so gotta bump that for you. One day I'm showing up to practice with my truck booming. Can't stop. Red Hot Chili Peppers. So guys, I gotta tell you, I'm jealous of you, first of all, because more than anything, when we were players, we didn't have this kind of exposure. Yeah. We didn't get to talk to the media as much. We were lucky when they came to the field and asked to talk to one person, and then you waited a week to see it in the newspaper. Y'all are lucky. Yeah. We get to talk about this today. We got one of the best sports communication directors, in Brandon the Fury Uri. He's going to make sure we got the video up so we can watch it tonight. So guys, take some time, enjoy where you are in life, but more than anything, continue to carry this Renegade tradition proudly. You're a second-generation Renegade. I'm also a second-generation Renegade. I know the special feeling. Guys, one day you'll have kids, and they'll be Renegade ready as well. You know what I mean? Hoping when my son gets done with Army, he can come back and join that tennis program as well. But more than anything, guys, just want to praise you for having the stick-to-itiveness to continue to march on your journey, because there's many teammates that you've had walking alongside you that had this expectation as well that didn't make it, right? Yeah. So before we go to break, Luis, what's the last thing you want to leave the world as an impression on who you are as a player and as a person?
It's just my worth ethic. I just want people to know that I always work for what I got.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
No,
continue.
No,
you got it?
Yeah.
You got it? Work ethic. All right, Moses, last impression you want the world to have when they see your face, man?
The grind don't stop.
The grind don't stop.
Grind don't stop.
Grind
Let's
don't stop.
get that on a Renegade T-shirt.
Yeah, the grind
Okay,
don't stop.
I'm asking Coach Taylor if we can get a T-shirt made with "Grind Don't Stop" with your face on it
Yeah.
in the front. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Conrad, last but not least, what do you want to tell the world before we go to break?
So obviously, the results haven't been there for us, but we're gonna keep chugging, keep going, and we'll get there.
Absolutely. Well, I got all the faith in the world on you guys, and I think you're going to do great things. All right, this is Kenny Calvin with men's tennis. We'll be right back after the break, and I'll get to those recaps that I told y'all about. It's a lot of work, y'all. Right after this. All right, guys.
Appreciate it.